Okay, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday. It's payday today, so I've been going over my list and everything. So I'm going to go out this morning and do my shopping. And it's just like I got a lot to do this month. It feels like I'm in the middle of this giant garden project. And I'm going on this trip. And then this weekend, I'm going to go, or tomorrow morning, I'm going to drive over to Yakima and see the kids, see the grandkids, spend the day over there, have lunch again, and then come back. And then Sunday, we have a whole day playing, my mom and I, with working on the garden. And then I think my other daughter's going to come over and barbecue with us. So then on this trip, I got to get all of the dogs' food ready. I gotta still figure out how I'm gonna have the garage door open, but so they can go in and out, but also have it, which makes me nervous, for him to have it open during the night. And then, but there's like not any really other choice. I mean, she can't be running down here during the middle. She wouldn't even know when they need to go out. That makes me nervous for the door to be open, not just for the bugs, but, something happened. They heard something and they ran out. Oh, it's yesterday, a fox. We saw a fox. I didn't even know there was foxes over here. And I was over there making some toast, and my mom opens the door screaming, "Come, hurry!" And I'm like, "Oh my God, emergency!" I'm running up the stairs, running in the house looking for her, and I see her outside, and she's got the binoculars because she can't see good. She can only see little things, so she uses magnifiers and all this stuff. And so I see her out there, so I go out real quick, and I look up, and I see a fox go across and go down, and I was like, is that a dog? Looks like a fox. She's like, that's a fox. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it looked so big. It was way bigger. Like, I don't know what the different types of foxes, but, and then when I've been walking the dogs, they've been going around and they all react in this certain place. And it was further down the other day, and I walked the first three, and they all went over to this certain place. And I'll start sniffing, looking around. And then I go walk the next one. They go to the exact same place and do the exact same thing. And then yesterday, they did it again, only in a different place. But the same three, they go straight over to it. And then they all go and start smelling it and looking around. And then the next three. So, I don't know. I feel like that they were smelling this fox. And then my mom went to go tell one of her friends, like, I just saw a fox. Oh my God. She was so jacked up. And so she messages her friend. Her friend's like, oh my gosh, it's all over Facebook. Everybody's been seeing this fox. And so, yeah, it's out here. And my mom said, like, back in the back of her thing, because I was like, oh man, does it have itself stuck over here now in a neighborhood? And she said, no, that forest that is behind her just goes the whole way in forest. And so anyways, I mean, anything could be, like a fucking bear. I don't know. God damn. Florida, they had bears coming in and attacking somebody in their home. And they said they've never had anybody mess with the bears have never messed with the people there. You gotta watch out for the alligators, but now you gotta watch out for the bears. But I do think it could be the frequency or whatever. And I was wondering about that fox. I was like, I wonder, maybe it could be looking to have pups or something. Maybe it's looking for a place to nest. I don't know. It did look big, but it didn't look fat, but it looked like, dang, that's big for a fox. But anyways, that's super exciting. It's exciting to see anything new or different they haven't seen before. And then, I don't know, nature has a special kind of thing going right now where everybody's just like, so cool, so into nature. People are out talking to trees and stuff. That's what's cool. That's the wave of our change. All that stuff is where we're going, where people are more connected to each other, more connected to themselves, more connected to the natural side of the planet. So it's that's exciting. There's he did make his big announcement, and it is about trade. and the whatever is all this trade stuff is somehow going to lead to this big changeover in in everything, because it's going to be, taxes are going to end. They're going to stop charging us for resources, food. A lot of people like how we're going to be growing like a lot of our food that will get us through the summer. I mean, we're not going to can and stuff, but there's going to be more and more people feeding themselves, not relying on the corporation, because the corporation is just feeding us garbage. Now they've got some woman, I didn't watch the whole video, and I guess she's up for Surgeon General or some big position. And so she is a doctor, and she's coming out saying, she's coming out swinging. She's coming out swinging on the environmental poisoning, and that's what's making people sick. What have I been saying for so fucking long? Not only does it make people sick, is what is the whole deception of aging, and which Elegant Witchery, she found another guy who's saying the same thing, like aging isn't real, and she left his info in the comments. He's also on YouTube. I haven't seen him yet, but anyways, if you want to hear more people saying the same thing, and I know it is a hard thing to hear if you've done a lot of aging, and so then the people who have done a lot of aging, they're going to be like, oh, there's no way aging is real. No, it's not real. I'm telling you, it has to do with lifestyle. When you have a healthy lifestyle and you take care of yourself, and it also, so much is about mind, body, spirit, because it's how we look at things. So you need to reset your program. If you think, oh, aging's real, we all die and all that stuff. No, you got to reset your program so that you can be like, aging isn't real, death isn't real, and start telling yourself those things, even if it seems wacky and stuff, and start resetting your mind, because your mind's going to follow. So if you believe in aging, you're going to age. If you don't believe in aging, you're not. And so you have to, and then we're in this transition. So it's like we've been doing this because we were told this is what happens. But then when you turn it around and go the other way, then you start reversing and aging. And that is going to be dependent on, like, also how abusive you've been to yourself. So if you've abused yourself for 30 or 40 years, then you're going to have a lot of stuff to, the aftermath. And so but you can still change it, and you can still, you can make your skin better, your health, and I'm telling you, you can change your body with the muscle, with the exercising. And my band thing, I have found a whole bunch more exercises that I mean, I just come up with stuff. Like, I'll just be sitting there and I'll just do stuff. This one, I'll show you this one, because this is pretty rough. This one right here. And I always use the heaviest band, or extra heavy. I'm ordering some more bands, and so I'm curious to see what they're going to be. But so I put my arms up like this, and then I pull them, and you pull, and then go back, and then pull right back here. Oh my, and the place that is always is like the wiggly part. Then you do that and tighten these muscles. For so long I kept being like, what tightens these muscles back here? What? Because when we're kids, we think about how much we climb around and stuff like that when the muscle is tight. And then after we stop using it, we stop jumping around and climbing around and doing things that are hard. Oh, get somebody else to do it. Work smarter, not harder. And then we deplete. We become weaker, and our muscles get floppy and they deteriorate. We get, what is that called? I can kind of halfway hear it. Atrophy. We get atrophy in our muscles and stuff, and so you have to continue to use them. If you don't, that's that thing, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so your muscles begin to atrophy, and weekend and stuff, and then you think, well, I'm getting old, well, I'm tired, well, I'm achy. I'll tell you, yesterday on this garden thing, it's so great. I just can't even believe how far we've come. It's so crazy when you're looking at a job. It's best not to. I think people get overwhelmed because they just keep playing it out and playing it out. Because there was parts where I was like, "Fuck, man, that's gonna be so fucking hard. That's gonna be so much fucking work." And then you just jump in and you start doing it. It's like you're just getting it done. You're just getting it done, and so yeah, you can hold yourself back by sitting there overthinking it, just looking at it, being like, oh, when you just go in and you just start doing it. And one of the things is, so uh, she already had some, where there's tons of, I think they're lilies or something. They're just like these big flower growing everywhere. And then there was tons and tons of the yellow daisies everywhere. And so there was lots of flowers in the garden, which she's planting a ton more, but we're planting a ton of food, but we're doing raised beds. So we're not going in and trying to till the ground and stuff. Like she used to do that, till in the ground and stuff. And she said like, oh, her tiller kind of sucks. And I was out there looking, and I'm thinking about her age, and I'm thinking like, I'm not gonna be here forever. And what would make things simpler for her to be able to work higher, so she's not bending down. That's fucking killer. So having it higher up, and then having it more like station, so you're not out tilling. You can take your little garden tools and mix up the dirt, pull out your old shit, and you got your new pot ready. You can add more dirt or whatever. But I was like, man, that's the way we got to go. And so getting it all set up. Luckily, she had a whole bunch of pots, but she had them all like random. She had a bunch in the backyard, and I was like, well, let's just get everything out there. So you have everything. You just go out and water everything right out there, and we can even look into getting one of those far-reaching, what's that? Sprinklers. One of those sprinklers that shoot out really far, and at first I was thinking we could set up like an irrigation system, but her thing is like pretty spread out. My garden was like all of the raised beds were right next to each other, but I didn't have as big an area. She's this really huge area. And so all of the garden areas, so we have like raised beds that we're putting other pots in that are gonna be raised up. And so, and her ground is like this. And so I'm trying to raise the, and get it more level. It's like, it would be a lot, but anyways, it's getting it more. So, but when you're on a slant, so we're kind of like terracing it on some of this stuff in order to do it. So where there's a lot, building up beds. And then she this giant pile of rocks that she are big rocks, not little rocks like what I did at my house. So we started doing that here, and so I made all those planters out of stones all around my yard. And then I made everywhere the water goes, I made that a path. So there was paths, and then there was I used stones to make the planter things all around my trees and stuff. And I thought it looked really cool. I really liked it. But so anyways, that's what we're doing out here. And so she had gotten these stones or rocks a long time ago. She had been collecting them, and she wanted to make a rock. She wanted to do all this stuff with these rocks. And so she's this giant pile of rocks she'd been collecting for a long time, but then they just kept sitting there, and she had like a half a wall done here, a half a thing done here. So, starting things and never really finish it. Probably, something came up, and it's like, it's hard to get back to something. Could be the weather change, anything. And so these rocks, I was like, well, we'll go down there and go get these rocks and bring them up, and we'll put a thing around all of the garden spots. So that's what I was doing yesterday. Fuck, man. And it was hot as shit. So I was going down, and I was using the car though. So go down, load the car full of rocks, pull up here, and then unload the rocks and put them around in the, so I'm almost completely done with that. But we're gonna also, there'll be more to do, because once we get the tomatoes in, and we're gonna do like a whole little tomato thing, which everything also we have to take into account for the deers. We're going to try and just plant a deer garden outside of our garden so that they kind of stick in that one and don't come in and eat our stuff. So we're going to see how that works. And then also she's had stuff sitting around, like, you know, like the rocks not getting used, but she wanted to use them. And then she had this big fence that she had gotten, and nobody had ever helped her put it up or whatever. So I was looking at it and I was thinking, it just comes to me out of this stuff. It just comes to me. I don't know how. And so I was like, well, we'll unroll this fence and we'll go in these three giant trees that go right in front of the garden. I said, so we'll unroll this fence and then we'll hang it on these trees and it will go out and it will be like a fence. And then she was so excited. She's like, okay, she's gonna cover it with vines of hollyhock or some kind of flower or something, and have it be growing up the side then, which will look really cool. And then we had enough fence to, because we did that too. That is, like, all this stuff is like bug and heavy and it's hard work. And so we got that. This fence was like, had been laying there for years. Big chain link, heavy fucking fence. It's like 6 feet tall. It's fucking huge. And so got it unrolled and then got it hung up on a couple of trees, and then it's turning around this one tree where we have the other fence going. And so we've almost got her whole thing fenced in. It's the craziest stuff. And so there's more to do with that because we're putting a thing in to attach the fences to. And so it's going to, that whole end is going to be kind of closed off, but the deers can still jump over all this stuff. And but if they jumped over that, they would jump right into the tomato plants. But still, we have an opening down there, and then there's opening through the trees and stuff, which is another thing too we're gonna do, is go out and thin out all our trees. That's a fucking huge. When I did that at my house, the trees were bashing me, hitting me, scratching me, and it's like, fuck, man, it's intense. And so, and hers is like, man, you can't even imagine with all of these pine needles. And her pine needles are like this, and they're like fucking needles. I think they're called ponderosa pines or something. But so these giant ass pine needles, these giant ass pine cones, and it's like every pine cone that falls turns into a tree. Like everything grows here, and everything is like, it's jam packed. So, so anyways, we're going to thin out that part and finish with this. And then we're going to have the garden kind of closed off, kind of. There's still going to be openings. The deers will still be able to mosey in there. So we'll see how it goes. 'Cause she keeps saying, man, they'll eat everything. And so we're just going to do the best we can, see what happens. But also, it makes me feel good to be getting her all set up with her garden, and plus she's loving it. And what about the timing? Mother's Day, and my brother's sending stuff for her garden. And so and she's got friends coming over. She's got a friend coming at the end of next week who used to live out here, who moved to Mississippi to be closer to kids or something. And then another friend that's coming towards the end of summer. So she's going to have her nice little garden all fixed up. And so anyway, she's super excited, and it's looking really cool. And she's just sitting out, and she's getting real excited, getting her little things out to decorate and stuff. And it looks good, and it is exciting to, I think it's me being here. I'm sure, you know, at first she's just like, oh God, it's gonna be horrible. But I've done a lot of stuff to help her. And so I think that she probably, I'm sure at some point she's going to be like, are you getting out of here anytime soon? But it is, I can see the point of me being here a lot of times when I'm out doing that stuff and getting her situated, so that she can, you know, remain independent, remain taking care of herself. And then plus all of the stuff that I talk about with health, and she's going in that direction. And she's working on the aging backwards, but you know, she's had years and years of that aging process and buying into the whole thing, you know. And it's like a surrender in life, like, oh, life's hard, you know, I don't want to think about that, I don't want to fix that. And so aging has a surrender component. Because, you know, and it's weird too, because like if you do meet somebody who's older and they're just out there extra doing all this stuff, people are always like, oh my God, give it up, you're getting old, God, what did you know what I mean? The pressure's on to age like the rest of us. What are you trying to do, throw everything off? And it's like, yeah, we are trying to throw everything off because we don't need to age, we can take care of ourselves. And then it's like a healthy lifestyle is everything. A healthy mindset, the way you look at things, the way you take care of yourself, the way you show up for yourself. That's everything. You know, do you have good boundaries? Do you stand up to for yourself when it's appropriate? Do you just jump into every little fucking fight that you can find? Because that is going to be what is that? It's like it's going to put you on overload of anxiety and depression if you're constantly fighting with everybody and stuff. The more that you keep the world around you calm, the more calm you're going to feel. And that doesn't mean to isolate yourself and imprison yourself, but it's to find peace of mind. It's to find peace in your heart. And so when you can find internal peace, and you can let the world be crazy around you, and you can just sit there, you know, all zen in the crazy world, that's where you want to get. And that seems to a lot of people, that's delusional. You're disconnected and stuff. And it's like, no, I'm connected. I can see what's happening here. I just can't indulge into the wavelength, into what they've got going. And then plus to me, you know, knowing all this stuff is changing and stuff, about watching, you see the things playing out. It's like I told my mom yesterday, I've said it a whole bunch of times, but you know, like I see this stuff coming. I didn't think it was going to take so long. I didn't know it would drag so much, but as things have been going, I'm seeing it all go in the direction I'm talking about. I don't see it going in another direction, especially as it's been going slow. Like it's had plenty of time to veer in a different direction, and it's not going to, because it's written in the stars. This is the time. This is, you know, I mean, it's set. It's just weird because you have so many people who think like things aren't set. And there's so many people also who believe in biblical prophecy, which is, you know, it has some truth in it, but also it has an angle of how it wants you to look at it. But still, you got to remember that the King James, and also, you know, if it's come out that he's a free, you know, a Mason of the free. So that is all set to manipulate us. Everything here it is the set to manipulate us. That's what they're trying to do, is siphon up of our energy and manipulate you. And if they can keep you down in the dumps and stuff, that's a lot of energy siphoning. Because that takes energy. Just like to hate somebody takes energy. That you have to send that out to them. It was, I think it was when I was number one, the first guy, first marriage, that he was the one. You know, he wanted to murder me. It was a horrible, hard. It was a hard time in my life. It was only 4.5 years, and it was hellacious. And then I was trapped in California. I couldn't leave. I wanted to leave California and get away from there, but I was trapped because I had done my divorce there, and so then it was super progressive. You know, you couldn't leave. You know, your husband's here, your ex is here, so you can't go and take him from the kids. But all of their fucking control and shit over us. You know, I mean, in some cases, you know, if there was no control, we would be out of control. And so then it does give the theory of like souls learning. Then there has to be a parameter. And so then, you know, kind of makes sense. But the only thing is that there's so much to this realm that is so dark and devious. And so, but I do see, especially, you know, coming from the time when I grew up, where it was such a push on morals. And when I watched all these old movies, such a push on morals. But there was one yesterday, I was just like, see, this is fucking programming. Is it George Peppard? Anyways, was one of these like tough guy kind of guys or something, and he was with this woman and they got married or something, and I don't know, he thought she was cheating or whatever, and I don't remember if she said something, but he slaps her really hard across the face, which there's so much slapping in old movies. And the thing that was the program part was she liked it. Yeah, it was really good. You know, they had to go have sex after that. It was like turned her on. It's like, that's programming. Like, maybe it's showing like this one person, you know, is like strange that she likes that or something. But it's, you know, be tough on women, they like it and stuff. So programming men into being the dominant force in our society, because, you know, that's what women want. That's what they need. They don't know how to take care of themselves. Well, this is when men start realizing, like, oh, women are more capable than what I believed. And then they have to look at, like, well, you know, why did I believe they were such wusses? Why did I believe they couldn't do anything? And they were so dependent and stuff. And it is, so that's a part of the awakening of seeing the other people as being different than how we see them in our own mind. And that's based on programming and biases and stuff. And so that is, all of that stuff has to break down. But you see it all the time in the movies, but definitely there's so much push to have morals in the movie. And now there's such a push to not have any morals. Even in Colorado, I saw some people in California being outraged because now Colorado, they've gone all in. Now they're putting up on the vote today or something that the government is in charge of your gender, you know, your gender reassignment on your kids. Like, if you're not supportive of your kids being reassigned in their gender, then the government can take your kids away from you. That's their legislature they're putting through today. And it's gonna, like I've said so many times, it's gonna keep being these crazy, outrageous bullshit things, because that is to motivate us to say no. No. So it's got to be crazier and crazier and crazier. The government just straight up comes in and says, well, we can take your kids if we want to. And it's, you know, it's not going to stick. However it goes, like, it's got to go through whatever the change is. So if it goes and it goes through and people have to see the effects of it or something, then that gets them outraged, because then that will be what follows. Will be horrific stories that are just like, oh my God, can you believe this? So it'll be horrible, horrible stories. And who knows if they're even real or if they're just a part of the storyline to get us to change. There's real stories going, and then there's just so much going. Like, there's so much with the uncovering of the what's below us. So uncovering pyramids, uncovering temples, the one that had the little alien in it also was all writing or hieroglyphics or something that was found only in Egypt. So we see that blows their story of, like, well, how did these people get over here? I mean, how would they have gotten there? You're telling us that they spent their whole life and walked over here to rebuild what they had built over here? It's like, you know, they just want us to believe whatever they tell us. And I just saw this statue in Russia, a big fucking statue, like the Jesus the Redeemer statue. It's fucking giant, which I want to go see that. But that's fucking giant. So this one is a woman, and she's a warrior or something, and it's in Russia, and it's giant like that, huge. And they're saying that it was built in 1963. Bullshit. And the way that they say it was built, oh, they made a shell, and then they poured concrete in, and then they removed the shell, and then they had this statue. Bullshit. You just, like, this is something that drove me. So this is one thing that I got called crazy on all the motherfucking time when I was young. I kept telling the people that the fucking pyramids were built. I was calling out the bullshit on the pyramids. And I can't remember all the stuff I was saying. I'm pretty sure I was saying they were built by aliens or something. I said, it's not built the way they said. There's nothing about this that is what they say. And I kept saying it, and people would be like, oh my God, you're so crazy. Oh my God, you're so, and I would think I was so nutty. And it was like, how can you look at that and believe the story they're telling you? Like bullshit. In the same with all of these statues and stuff. Everything that they try and tell us is like, no. Like, I totally believe the ones that are sitting there saying, oh, these sculptures and stuff that are out of like limestone and marble and shit, that people can't even do that kind of stuff now, without all these machines and stuff. And they're putting out these statues before, they've even come over here to chop down trees to make cabins. It's like, no. Yeah, but that is where you got to see why it seems like people are so advanced at this time, or living totally different at this time. It's because it was different realities, different time periods, different ages of time, different periods of time of experience. And so, it was that window of time that happened. And then whatever, closes down, and then another one starts, and another one starts. And that's all it is just these concurrent ages of experience, so that you can experience different experiences, different things. It's not all just one set thing. And so, anyways, that's what, to me, the history being revealed is to show us, like, it's way different than what we think. Like, however it unfolds for everybody is how it unfolds. Like, but it's much different than how people think of it, or like the resolution in one's mind, how they resolve all of this stuff. It's way different. It's like all the people who come up with the resolution, the resolve, the reasoning, is it's based on limitation. And so you're not seeing it all, and then you're trying to make it fit, but it's not gonna fit. And it's like it's being forced. And that's where I say that these people are seeming crazy at this point, when they're trying to force things and make it make sense for themselves. It's like, well, why can't you just open your mind to the possibilities of like magic and crazy shit? Why do you keep yourself so stuck in this just three-dimensional kind of what is that word? It's like a set. It's like this. It's like the structure. I can't think of the word, but it's like that they want to keep it so structured and so perfect, and they can't have it be anything out there. Which the moon, weird as fuck again. Weird placing and everything, but it's so fucking weird how it's almost full. It's like, I don't know. It seems like it should go a little slower. If the moon disappears for a fucking week and a half or something, and shouldn't it go slower as it builds itself up from a crescent to a whole thing? I mean, it was just a crescent like a few days ago. Now it's almost full. Like, I don't know. Everything out there was so absurd. But it's just like it was what gets me is, was it always that way? And that none of us were noticing. None of us were paying that much attention, which is, oh, the moon's up there. And we weren't really looking at it and evaluating it. Because once you start looking at it, evaluating, it's like, what the fuck? It's over here one day, it's over there one day, it's up here, it's like all over the place. And the size thing is just so versatile, or so like it's weird. And I don't know, like, were we just ignoring this stuff, or is it that once you start seeing, I don't know. It seems like it would be that it was always weird, and that we just didn't notice. For it to all of a sudden become weird, but for it to all of a sudden become weird is to wake us up, to get us to pay attention, to get us to see, to get us to notice the reality isn't what we think it is. And it's just that it's so weird, because we have so many people who are so stuck and so disconnected from themselves. They're stuck on the programming, and they're so disconnected from themselves, they don't question anything. They just follow orders. And then we have so many people who just are in that mindset, just follow orders, and they don't even care what the orders are. Well, he told me to kill him. What am I supposed to do? I got to do what I'm told. It's like, what? That is going to be a big thing that people are going to be healing. You got to do what you're told. Like, it's yeah. I was oh yeah, because it was yesterday when I was talking to my mom, and I think we were talking. I don't remember. It was something. Maybe it was something about the money or the rich people or something, and I had said that a lot of the people who became rich, like there was like a lack of morals. You know, most of us, like if there's something they say, yeah, well, yeah, we'll give you a lot of money, but you got to do this. Most of us will be like, nah, I'm not doing that. And even if people weren't thinking like, well, that's going to bother my soul forever, I don't want the karmic debt or anything. It's just an instinctual thing of like, no, I don't want that. And kind of even with, this has been shown in movie after movie after movie, the finding the bag of money. What do you do? What's the moral dilemma? What do? You get yourself in deep with some drug dealers, or what are you going to do? And so most of us, we don't want to be involved in the crimes and stuff. It's like, no, I don't want to be involved with that. I don't want fucking cartel chasing me around with a bag of money or whatever. And so a lot of us, like, if we have an opportunity or an opportunity were to come our way to get rich scheme and fuck over everybody that we know, we would do it. But there's people who do it. It's definitely, you know, we have a divide in our society, the people with morals and the people that are out to feed their greed, to feed this insatiable beast. But also in the storyline, that shows us, it helps us and grows us, because we can look at it and see, like, that's not good. And it's the thing is like, we can look and see it's not good, but they're gonna see now, because it's gonna come and it's gonna hit them. The repercussions of the crimes and stuff is gonna come, and that's gonna also be very freeing for the people who chose to stick with their morals, that they weren't going to do horrible things to make money, when there's so many people who did choose to do bullshit to make money, just to make money. It's like that's dirty money at that point. Even this is something like, I don't know if everybody understands this, but so I get clothes from ThredUp, and so I order the clothes, and it's all a thrift store, but it's higher quality, and most of the stuff is higher quality, because they pick and choose the stuff that they take. And the other thrift stores, they take everything and have all different prices, but so this is like, they don't take everything. And stuff costs more because you're getting more higher end brands and less use of the clothes. Because a lot of people buy expensive stuff and wear it once. Sometimes they don't even wear it. It comes with the tags on. And so, getting the clothes, and a lot of times when you're going to return something to them, they give you an offer. You can send it back, which is going to cost and all that stuff, or you can just keep it and take less money returned to you than what you'd paid. And so you get money back. Well, you could go in and say, oh, this didn't fit, this didn't fit, this didn't fit, like all these different things. And I could get credit all the time just by being shady. And but to me, when I get this stuff and it fits perfect and I love it, and if I go in and say, well, I'm going to return it because I want to get some more money so I can get more stuff, because people do this shit all the time. And then, but to me, it's like, then it's just figure that something will go wrong with that outfit. It'll get lost, it'll get torn, it'll get a stain on it. Something will happen, because that's how it goes, because it's not just finding the loophole where you can screw over and get more. It is being ethical. It's being having integrity, And then that, and when you don't have it, the universe is going to show you. And so that's what we're going to see a whole lot of as things keep unfolding. We're going to see a lot of lack of integrity is going to come to the surface. And a lot of people are going to be shown to have this shady side of themselves. And how they made money and stuff. And it's just going to be crazy because a lot of the people are people who like people looked up to and stuff. And then it's going to be more shown that, you know, like this is who you were looking up to. This is like what this person's about. But that's also going to show a part of our society of being so shallow. You know, all you got to do is look good. That was the whole thing with politicians too. This is something I saw when I was a teenager, so this is something I've been aware of for a long time. But it seems like some people don't have it, this awareness. But you know, you just all they do is put on a fucking suit. If they look good in a suit and they had a nice smile, they got good hair, then I don't know. I think that the gangsters, you know, bring them in and put them up to put them in positions. But a lot of the stuff about positions and stuff also has to do with this whole, you know, back scratch thing in our whole society where, you know, the corrupt people just scratch each other's backs. And that's the whole laundry thing that they got going too. But the people who have a lack of integrity, it's going to be really exposed. It's going to be exposed to themselves, but it's going to be shown to people around them, people in their families, people in their neighborhoods. And so it's going to be, you know, some humility because these people are fakes and phonies. But you know, the politicians, you know, they didn't have to be good people. They just had to look good in a suit, have good hair and a good smile and a good... And that was kind of also, I think, what Joe was showing in his last bit. You know, just, he didn't do shit, but he's just like, hey, you know, like he's trying to be Mr. Personable or something. It's like, that's what they try and get us on. Like, oh, they've got our back and they're good for us. Look at him. He's a good looking guy. He's, you know, and it's like, oh, it's a facade. And those people are like empty shells of people. Oh, which, talking about an empty shell of a person, go look up Martha Stewart now. Like, I don't know what the fuck. All these people just keep coming out as new people. And I would just think that it's got to be some kind of clone situation. But, and they're bringing out a bunch of clones all of a sudden of these people to show us or something, because it's too absurd. It's too weird, and she looks so different. Like, I don't know. There'd be people who would be like, well, it's plastic surgery. It's plastic surgery. They're all getting plastic surgery. They're all looking completely different, and they all kind of look alike. You make them all like, it's like a character. And to me, it's like they want us all to be like, we all want to look like that. We all want to look the same. We all want to have the same features and look alike. I'm like, well, that is a weird society. Why would we all want to be the same? Like, doesn't a society need all different parts? Like, even if you're building a house, like, you need different parts of the foundation. You need the plumbing. You need the electric. You need all the different things. You can't just have it be one thing. Well, you can just have like a hut or something. Like, I feel like I'm definitely living in a way that a lot of Americans would look like substandard living. But to me, it's like there's people in other countries that I'm probably living better than them. And it's like, man, we gotta really see there. Like this big wave of change is gonna be so good, because all these different places, all these different countries where people have been living at a really low standard of life, then it's going to be able to elevate them. Here, it's a lot of our elevation is going to be like having to reevaluate like our priorities and stuff, because we were caught up in this consumption, this consumerism. Give me more, more, more. And that's why, you know, you got all these people who are overweight, out of shape, storage building upon storage building. They're just popping up storage buildings. Another thing that they popped up all of a sudden was a funeral home. My mom was like, what's that? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, that's new. And I said, so we're looking for the sign. I was like, it's a funeral home. Oh my God, they just popped up a funeral home. Like, what do they got planned for us? And, but, you know, they do have, I mean, and it's not just like their plan. I mean, this is coming. There's going to be a huge reduction in society. There's going to be places that are going to just get washed away. And I don't know if Ireland is, I mean, in the new maps and stuff, Ireland and Scotland are gone and stuff. But I was like, man, all those places are just going to wash in, and just tons of people are going to just suddenly be gone. And it's going to keep happening and happening and happening over whatever for the next few years. We're in for a ton of change. That's the thing. Is tons and tons of stuff just changing. Like, if you're really uncomfortable with change and everything has to stay the same, otherwise you get anxiety, you're here to work on that. Because we're in a thing for major change, and it's going to be going, and it's going to be where you can't see, you don't know what's about to happen, and it's just going to keep happening and happening. But also, that is a motivation for you to connect to your higher self, to find peace, and to not be caught up in the drama and the fear and stuff. And so, see, everything is about this evolution of self. Everything is about us growing and becoming more sure of ourselves, more content, more comfortable, all of the positive things. Where, you know, before, our society was like, it was built on neediness. We all need somebody to make us feel better. Victim, poor us. You know, we've had it harder. You know, and people still make excuses. What was that one I just saw? I think maybe it was one of these kid diddler people, like, just getting arrested right and left. These teachers, so many fucking teachers, these weirdo fucking pervs, like taking the 5-year. Another one of these guys kissing and hugging, rubbing on. When I was in school, we had, I think it was Mr. Poe. He would come up to our desks. And he was an old guy. He would come up to the desks, like, if you were a girl especially. I don't know if he did it to any boys, but the girls knew. He would come up to the desk behind you. So remember how we would have these little seats, and they would be hooked into desks. I don't know what they have now, but we used to have these chairs that were hooked into desks. He would come up like he's going to look over your shoulder and help you, and he would rub his genitals up and down on your chair. Like, we had that. I don't know if any girls got caught, you know, with him trying to kiss them or touching them or whatever, but he definitely did that. We all talked about, you know, perv. And it seemed like there was another one, but this teacher was like real good looking, younger guy. And maybe like lots of girls were flirting with him all the time or something. But there was something weird about that too. I don't remember, but there's definitely always been these pervy teachers. But man, they're getting ballsy now, just going and kissing fucking 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. Like, what the fuck? So, this one, he got, let me think what I was gonna say. Because he got arrested. Or no, he got arrested for like a day, and then they let him out, and they didn't even take his teaching degree. And it was like a whole bunch of kids. But what was that I was saying about? I was about to say something, and now I can't remember what it was. But anyways, the pervy teachers and stuff all being arrested, pervy fucking cops, there's pervy doctors too, but there's so much of in the medical is so much about kickbacks. There's so much kickbacks, and that is I don't know. I look at that as kind of criminal, like you can't trust it, because even when they were doing TikTok Shop, and I had said like that was bullshit, because like the girls who were doing the hair thing, they're trying to sell the product so they can get the kickback, and so then they say, because like this is almost 2 months And those girls were like way more hair. I mean, they had hair down to here, saying it was in 3 weeks. So I don't know. Maybe their hair grows way faster than mine. But anyways, this is where my hair's at. And yesterday, oh yeah, and there's somebody like, watch out buying shampoo off the counter, which is just so aggravating. I don't even know. Like, is this kid prank bullshit, or is this more or the Tylenol scare thing that they did before? But so you're buying shampoo. There's a trend of they're putting Nair inside of the shampoo or the conditioner, so you got to watch out. And I don't know. I had already thought of that months and months ago. I was like, man, at least everybody's hair's falling out, and everybody's trying to get, you know, some shampoos and vitamins and all this stuff. And I'd gotten one that was pink. I was like, man, what if they were putting Nair in this stuff and getting us all to use it? It was making our hair fall out more. And but anyways, the Nair thing had already come into my mind about them putting in the shampoo, and then here it comes. Did I make it happen? Just little old me? Did I make it occur because I thought it? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing sometimes when you get, and I've had this happen a lot of times, where it's like you think something or you say something and then it happens, and it's like, geez, am I running the world? Am I making everything happen? Is it just my world? Like, it's kind of trippy. Man, I'm hungry. This makes growling and growling. When I get it done with this, and hopefully my deposits in, I'll get my stuff done online, and then I'm gonna go out and do my shopping. And then after I get my shopping done, come and put my food away. Then I gotta go out and work in the garden and start doing, because I'm bringing more dirt, and then get our plants planted we have. And I'm ordering some more of the things, and then get those. Then we'll know how much more dirt we need too. It's like, I think we're probably, I mean, I don't know, if we find some stuff that is more shorter growth thing. But I keep on thinking, man, are we gonna get everything going? Are we gonna have enough time? But so far, like, it's like summer starting in April. But, you know, is it gonna go? Is it gonna go till October, or is it gonna end early? Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like there was something else. I was gonna say something about the weather, because one of the times I went out yesterday, the weather, it just keeps changing. It's like three atmospheres merging, and you can go out and all of a sudden it feels like, man, it's kind of tropical and humid out here, kind of warm, and then you go in and then you come back out and it's like, dang, it's cold as shit out here. It's like, it's weird. It just is like going all over the place all throughout. Now for the next week or something, it's supposed to be really cloudy here, and then we're gonna have a bunch of rain. I want to get the garden stuff in before the rain comes, so we can get the rain on them. But also, like, fuck, what color's the rain gonna be? Now they've got the blue rain in Louisiana, like, it's spreading. And another person drank it to see what would happen, and they started hallucinating too. And I think it was like hours and hours. And one guy said 9 hours, and I think it was this too. It was a really long time. Man, my stomach's growling like crazy. But it was another creepy thing too, with like monsters and stuff. So it's like, is it opening you up to other realms and stuff? Which more people are starting to realize, like, it's literally any doorway is a portal. It just depends on what you're going into. But there's portals all around us, and like I've said before, I am positive that there is portals where, like, people are legitimately walking from some places and going through mountain areas and coming out in other areas, but they don't realize, like, because you can't necessarily know you've gone through a portal. Not always is it all of a sudden gonna look like it's a totally different world. And so it can look similar. You can think like it's the same place. You're still walking through the mountains just changed. You went from mountains that were a lot of trees to mountains that were a lot of rocks. And so you change and you go and you're still walking and walking, you go through another part. Like, I swear to God, I bet you they would go and they're walking through parts of the Grand Canyon and stuff. I think that a lot of things where they want to keep us cut out of forest and Grand Canyon, different places, is because there's portals and there's history that they don't want us to see. They don't want us to question things. And so, but anyways, it's already happening. It's already going. It's already, the shift is occurring. It's already taking in a new direction. Donald is, more stuff with the money thing. So whatever with the trade thing I say is all leading us to our abundance, how it's going to go. And more of it, hopefully, is just going to hurry up and crash the dollar. Every time I hear him say, oh, and the dollar's going to get better, I'm just like, no, the dollar is fake. But I did see a girl saying, and this was before Donald made his announcement, but she said that there was something that is up in legislature, and I can't remember what she called it. It's they name these things. So if it was something like Graves agenda or whatever. So whatever this one is about the money. And they're going to start this new, not a Bitcoin, but online coin money thing or something. Can't remember, a crypto or something. But it's going to be asset based. That's what we're going into. Everything is going to be based on an asset. It's got to have something that backs it, because right now we don't have anything. But then in their thing, it said it's going to become competitive with the dollar or something. Maybe that's how they're going to crash it, because the asset, so they could drag this out. But I would think if they're going to drag it out and it's going to be going for a lot longer, there's still going to be some kind of reparations for all this money and all the dirty money and shit that they've been hiding and stuff. So, just stay positive on the things. Like, things are going to get better. And, but it's going to be, some hard work for the people who, especially the people who aren't seeing yet, and they haven't started doing the work. Like, you got to be doing the work. You got to be working on yourself. Let's look at my teeth thing. I was looking in the mirror last night, and I was like, oh, wow, it's looking really good. So it was going into the light part again, and I could really see how far it had built up. I was like, oh, wow, it surely is really building up. So I don't know. It could take another year, for fuck all I know. So that all this stuff takes time, and I'm somebody who's like I'm bringing up five loads of rocks or something in one day. My mom's like, oh my God, you're a beast, which it kicked my ass. But it's weird because it's like my back's a little, like, a little muscle sore or whatever, but it's not like my muscles, because I do these exercises every day. Like, that arm one, I do 30 or 40 of those, and then do the same thing on different parts of my legs. Like, if you do it up higher on your thighs and you pull them apart, you feel certain muscles. If you do it down lower and you pull them apart, it feels certain muscles. If you, depending on which way you turn your legs, if you kick them back, if you kick them forward, if you kick them to the side, if you kick them this side, if you go out, it's all different muscles. But there is a lot of common ones in the torso, in your core. And that is one thing that a lot of people, as they age, they stop the muscles in their core. That is a part of why all these women with their menopause stomachs and stuff like that, it really is like, go do these exercises, going to pull those muscles back in. It is like, it's just the lack of exercise of the, a lot of people went into menopause and never even went to the gym. Like, there was tons of it. Like, the gym was a trend. Like, that was where it was only certain people that went to the gym. They were kind of people that were like a little crazy, a little insane, working out and stuff. And more people have started going and seeing the health benefits of going to the gym. But there's still a lot of people in this world that don't exercise, they don't go to the gym, they don't see the benefit. But there is benefit. And so, so if you have never exercised, you can still start at any point. It just will take longer to build up, especially if you have your whatever muscle mass you did have, if it's atrophied and stuff, you know, you may be having to start by picking up air. That may just wear you out right there. But I've seen where they always say start with soup cans. So any kind of thing, anything that you can build any kind of resistance is going to start building your muscle. And so you just got to start slow and just work your way up as baby steps. You can't just go from point A to point Z. Everybody wants to do it quick and jump, but it is there's no benefit to that. There's no development. It's just jumping around chaotically like a fucking frog from lily pad to lily pad. And it's like, what is just, I guess, if you just want to have a bunch of different experiences. But if you're here to develop yourself, it takes work. It takes taking the steps and going through things. And a lot of things is like when you're uncomfortable, then you got to take little steps, but go towards things that that do make you uncomfortable, because most of the things that make us comfortable are not good for us. The things that make you uncomfortable, like speaking to people that you don't know, that's really hard for so many people. I came from a time when you talk to strangers all the time, but we definitely in our society have gotten to where people are not comfortable talking to people they don't know. I mean, you've got a whole generation that doesn't even know how to talk. You talk to them and they text you. So, you know, we've been devolving. It's like the stuff, that direction they take us, we keep going backwards and we want to go forwards, you know, and that's where we're going to go. This is going to be the quick, the flip back, because we're going to go forwards and we're going to start seeing like how exceptional we really are, how gifted and how talented and smart and connected. Like we're going to see a whole new side of ourselves. So, and it's not for everyone. Like everyone, there's different parts being played. Like you got people, like the couple in Nova Scotia with their 2 kids missing. Like there's so many people talking about this one, so many people. And it is a weird story, but they've added more to the story now, where like the neighbor is saying there was always cars over there. They thought that the people were just druggies. They didn't even know they had kids. What? Got 3 kids and nobody even knows they have kids? And one of them is their little baby, their infant, that she has with the new fella. The 2 kids from ex, those are the ones that have gone missing, the 6-year-old and the 4-year-old, which for a while they were calling them autistic, but then insane nonverbal. Well, mom's like, they're verbal. They've got like, where everybody's got the autism, everybody, but that's just, okay, honey. She's already eaten and stuff. She's such a grumble. But anyways, but she's my little sweetie pie. But anyways, so the more stuff where I was hearing, then they said that there was like the neighbor said there was like a whole party, just all these cars and shit over there the night before the kids disappeared. And then it's like, well, there's a lot of people selling their kids, man. A lot of people selling their kids. So, well, I don't know what, you know, it's all by, you know, perspective of what you think a lot is. I think, you know, when there's more than one, it's like, fuck, you know, like, god dang, selling, like, what the holy hell? So, anyways, we have a lot of darkness coming up in our society, and I don't know, there was a psychic girl who said that she tuned into the pictures, and what she saw was the 6-year-old go up and start touching something with the drugs, or the drug paraphernalia, or something with that. It was out on the table or something, and the mom backhanded her across the side of the head, and the little girl was crying and went to her room, and the little boy saw it, and he got scared, so he ran out of the house, and he took off on foot, and the little girl went laid in her bed and died from the head injury, and the little boy is out there. So I don't know, because then she was saying that they took the little girl and hid her in the forest, but they still don't know where the boy is. But that's just, the psychic was like, I'm not sure, but this is what I'm seeing. So I don't know. there's definitely some shady shit going on. And it's kind of sad though, because I just watched a movie where it was a true story, and somebody's kid had disappeared and was kidnapped or something. And the parent, oh my God, the cops just go after the parents. It was insane. And I know that's not the only story where they do it. They just focus on the parents, and it's sad because not all the parents are doing this, but then it's like the ones that do who try and ride on that, like, there's so many. There's so many of these ones, and it's been going for decades. These people go, doing their kids and then pretend like that they were taken. So then the cops just focus on everybody, but not everybody is doing in their kids. Some of them are really taken. And then they get blamed, and they get all this time wasted where they're not looking for their kid. So anyways, we got shenanigans all over the place. Okay. All over the place. Shenanigans and bullshit that just takes us in a dark place. So anyways, the best thing to do is to live honorably, live with integrity, and live like making your best self. Put your best self out there. Okay, lady, I'm gonna stop. I don't know what your problem is. And so anyways, but the way to do that is learning how to love yourself. Learning how to love everybody else, that's just a benefit. And but that's the world we're going to, is where we're all gonna not just like love each other, like, oh, I just love you, but there's gonna be so much love in the world. You are gonna hear that a lot. Oh, I love you. I started hearing that years ago. Everybody starts saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. There's so much more love going around. But it's not like, you have to really truly love everybody, but you have to give everybody respect of, like, that they have value. And so that's what shows love. So then you got to give yourself respect and give yourself value. So love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day that you want to have, because it all depends on you. It's up to you. So anyways, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to be going, so I'm going to probably download the thing while I'm driving, because I'm going to be on the road for a few hours. So anyways, have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.